Authorization for the chairman to sign a probation service agreement between the Judicial Alternatives of Georgia and the Putnam County Superior Court. Paul, would you like to explain that?
So yes, sir. The court usually sends over their schedule of fees, and this one's about $4,000 less than last year's. So, good news.
So the good news is it's actually $4,000 less, and this is something that happens every year. I will call for a motion, and that is the authorization for the chairman to sign a probation service agreement between Judicial Alternatives of Georgia and the Putnam County Superior Court.
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. Motion and a second. Do we have a discussion? You made the motion. Any discussion? Second discussion?
Well, I'd just be curious, Tommy, since you have professional expertise in this area, any particular perspective on this company or any other company, or what? I assume we're renewing because we like the service we get.
It's a required thing, and I think the courts work with them already, and they're familiar with everybody. So if there was an issue, I think we'd certainly know it. So
Okay, just worth asking.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, I'll ask to call for the question and ask to vote electronically. This is for the authorization for the chairman to sign a probation service agreement between Judicial Alternatives of Georgia and the Putnam County Superior Court. Voting is complete. Districts 1, 2, 3, and 4 vote aye. I'll be more than happy to sign. Moving along to item number 13, this is the discussion and possible action on the Thunder Point commercial subdivision. And before this is put on by Commissioner Hersey, but we have one person signed in to speak, and I believe that's Brendan Burgess. So Brendan has waived. So Commissioner Hersey, would you like to make a motion and then we discuss it? Or do you just want to discuss? You can present it, that's fine.
I can make a motion, and then we can discuss it.
Okay, I'll read the motion that Commissioner Hersey is proposing. It's moved to direct staff to file for a declaratory judgment as to the current validity of the limited access conditions imposed by the Putnam County Board of Commissioners in the rezoning resolution of November 7th, 1995 for the commercial property known as the Thunder Point Commercial Subdivision, map 102, parcel B032, and to prohibit staff from approving or signing a preliminary plat until the issue is adjudicated.
Adjudicated.
I'll get it out. Adjudicated. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second on the floor, and before we move forward, I have a question to ask of our attorney. I'm going to ask our attorney to speak to this.
Well, just as a general rule or rule of thumb, more than not necessarily a requirement, but considering the nature of the motion, anytime a public body is intending or considering bringing a lawsuit or litigation, you are afforded the opportunity under the Open Meetings Act to meet in executive session to discuss the same. I certainly don't want to stop your discussions publicly, but I would say from my standpoint, if there's going to be questions asked regarding the validity or the arguments that would be made or how we would move forward, I would much prefer to discuss those in executive session prior to discussing them publicly in order for the commissioners to have an opportunity to speak, to ask any specific questions, us to weigh and analyze how you might move forward. And then you can return to public session and ask questions as you so desire. But I would request that. Again, that's not a requirement. That's my request.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor. So we have to either, in order to, if we're going to executive session to discuss it, we have to hold this until after? How do I handle that?
You'd be allowed at any time when the motion's pending, you can ask for an executive session. And if you, same way you would without a motion pending.
So if one of the commissioners would ask for an executive session, we wouldn't have to vote on this motion until we came
The
back.
motion would remain on the floor. You would have a discussion in executive session. When you return, the motion still is on the floor in the same position.
Okay.
Mr.
Chairman,
Chairman,
yes.
If the attorney pleases, could I at least preview the issue for the public's consumption?
Again, my concern is not to stop the conversation. It's just that if questions are asked specifically, that's where I would want to have that before then. So no, sir, I wouldn't stop your discussions.
So we're in for discussion, so yeah, I'll recognize
Yeah,
you for
so-
discussion.
So if we could, Lynn, if you could, that's the previous,
That's this,
go back.
that's this.
I think everybody is familiar with the property that's under consideration here. It's off of Highway 44. 30 years ago, in 1995, there was considerably more property involved in a rezoning application by Mr. Clack that now includes the Dollar General and some other small stores. Used to be the Magnolia Market there. But this is an adjoining property that was also included in the rezoning application during the 1995 County Commission hearing. And at that hearing, if we could go to the next slide, just so that people are familiar with what the issue is. A snippet from the County Commission meeting says, and this was a commission that was chaired by Mr. Ridley,
Donald Ridley.
and Don Ridley, and I believe Steve Layson was the 3rd District Commissioner at that time. Anyway, the snippet says to approve the request by Larry Clack to rezone property on Greensboro Road between Clack Circle and Thunder Road from R1 to C1 with the stipulation of limited access off Clack Circle and no access to the commercial property from Riverside Drive and Thunder Road. And at that time, the map was 38A, parcel 98. And there was some exclusion for some lots of the Thunder Valley subdivision. So this is the question that is before us, and the motion speaks to, and that is whether the conditions applied in November of 1995 are still valid conditions. And we have had mixed views of that, but let us go to the next slide just to say our current ordinance specifies that nothing in this section shall be construed, and under 67(7)A, nothing shall be construed as repealing or modifying the conditions of operation or conditions of zoning or use or building permits issued under previous zoning ordinances or resolutions. So at least our current ordinance specifies that the conditions implied in 1995 should be still upheld. If we go to the final slide, I believe, before we, this is the proposed plat for the Thunder Point commercial subdivision, and it shows actually one connection between an internal road and Thunder Road, and two connections between the internal road, well, one connection between the internal road and Riverside, as well as an extension of Scott Road that does in fact intercept Riverside. So this was the original plat that was presented or is being presented. And I believe due to some suggestions by the Technical Review Committee, there has been some red line changes of this, but I don't believe that those changes have altered the connections between the internal road and Thunder Road, or the internal road and Riverside, or between the Scott Road extension and Riverside. And those three connections, one to Thunder Road and two to Riverside, are in conflict with the rezoning application of 1995. And the motion, again, speaks to a request to have the issue adjudicated as to whether the conditions applied in 1995 are still valid and should be adhered to in 2025. And Mr. Attorney, or Mr. Chairman, if you wish to discuss this further in executive session, I'm not sure.
This is up to the commissioners. Anybody?
My questions will involve some potential litigation issues, so I would ask that we retire to executive session.
Is there a second into going, there's a motion to go into executive session for the discussion of possible litigation. I'll get the word out properly. And is there a second to that motion?
Second.
The motion is second. Is there a discussion of this? If not, we'll vote verbally to go into executive session. And I have the motion. That motion is still.
She's going to make a note of it.
Right.
Come in, executive session.
A motion to go into executive session. District 1?
Aye.
2?
Aye.
3? 4? We will go into executive session and then we'll come back out.